This is my story and how God delivered me and saved me from self-destructing. We're going to title this From Pornstar to Prophet. I would say my story started in my youth. I grew up in a single-parent household by a single mother, and I'm the oldest of three. Let's backtrack. Born in sin and shaped in iniquity, or in my case, shaped in rejection. You see, as long as I can remember, I dealt with rejection. As a child, all I ever wanted was to be loved and accepted. But I experienced a lot of rejection that ultimately caused me to reject myself. I believe this rejection started in the womb. I don't know everything, but what I do know is that I repeated some of the same cycles or some of the same things that were done to me to my firstborn daughter. As far back as I can remember, the girls that I wanted didn't want me like that, and the girls that wanted me, I didn't like that. So this constant rejection caused me to harden my heart and open the door to lust and perversion. So I was exposed to sex pretty young by some of my older family members, which didn't help. So I became perverse and sexually immoral. Growing up without a father or any positive role models in my life, I was definitely headed down the wrong path. Because of my environment, my association, and my exposure, I quickly embraced a lifestyle of partying, drinking, and sexual promiscuity. After a while, I realized something was missing. I didn't like who I was and who I was becoming, but I also didn't know how to change. A friend of mine that came out of a very similar lifestyle invited me to church, and I went. Prior to this, all I saw was a lot of hypocrisy in religion, and I definitely wasn't attracted to that. But one of the things that I did experience by going to visit this church was the power of the Holy Spirit, and I got to see people speak in tongues, so I was intrigued. I also got to experience the love of God, which was very captivating, and I knew that's what my heart needed. So I began going to church, reading my Bible, learning more about God, but something was still missing. I didn't necessarily understand the speaking in tongues stuff, but one of the things that God placed in my heart was, whatever this is, I needed it. So as God was captivating me, He gave me the desire for the Holy Spirit. He put it in my mind, whatever this is, I needed it. So one night after church, I went to the altar and I got filled with the Holy Spirit and I spoke in tongues for the first time. After leaving service that night, I remember looking at my friend and saying, man, that experience was better than sex. Now some of y'all might think that funny, but I was dead serious. Being very new to this experience, I didn't quite understand how to make this transition. If I'm being quite honest, I don't think I was ready, which is why I continued to do some of the same things. You may be saying to yourself, well, how do you get baptized with the Holy Spirit and continue to sin and do the same things? It's a process. I would learn later that I would have to reprogram my mind.